Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. It's season 13. We are starting out tonight strong.
As they do go side by side. It is the formation lap almost done. They will look, all eyes to the lights. That's going to be an amazing start.
And we have a crash in turn 1 already. What's going on?
On to the bus stop straight. Goes for it around the outside.
More contact behind. That is huge. A couple of gainers in that one.
She's given it everything. She has to. I'm not sure that it's over yet, though.
This is the last opportunity. We're off and away for SRA.
Guten Abend and willkommen. I think I got that right. Either I just said good evening or welcome. And welcome. We're ordered a schnitzel for the whole grid. We are live from the stunning Red Bull Ring in Austria for round 6 of the Sim Racing Alliance GT3 Team Series Division 6. I'm Jay Queasy as ever, ready to guide you through tonight's madness. And joining me again as ever is Florida's own, very own meatball, Justin Rosenthal.
Always a pleasure, Jay. And tonight's going to be a good one. Warm weather, fast cars, and a championship that's starting to get to a boiling point.
That's right. We've got only 3 rounds left in Season 14. The drop rounds are starting to reshuffle the standings. The pressure is mounting. And here at Red Bull Ring, one mistake could cost you either 10 places or 10 positions in the championship. So, before we get the engines fired up here in Austria, let's rewind and relive what's been, let's be honest, a wildly unpredictable Season 14 so far. 5 rounds down, and each one of us has given us dozens of chaos moments, brilliance moments, and a few questionable overs. Round 1 to Indianapolis kicked off with the most on-brand Division 6 move possible in contact before the green flag. Up front, it was Nolan Witt and Mark DC with a strategic game of chess. Nolan led for miles, but Mark pulled a rabbit out of the pit lane hat and snatched the win on the final corner. T-Resonance joined the podium and came in third. In round 2 at Kota was the season's only night race, and honestly, some drivers looked like they were racing by candlelight. Nolan Witt, though, lights out, lights on, didn't matter. Pole, and with 24 laps led, Louis Galvez brought the fight and finished in P2, and T-Resonance kept the consistency alive with another P3. This was the race that Juicy Jake burst onto the scene with a spicy debut and finishing in P4.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 races of the season were pretty crazy, and then, we jumped right into Snetterton, which was basically lava with, 42 degrees Celsius. Dylan Bonsall stormed the pole and looked strong, but mistakes mid-race led it to be Andrew Hopkins to take the win. Juicy Jake continued his rampage and impressed with a P2, but Dylan holding on to third after the accident. But we're just going to go and say the word Spa, and everyone who's been following so far this season knows that Spa was beautiful weather, but absolute chaos. Classic Spa, lap 1 out of Rouge was just pretty much a demolition derby, but Mark DC started P10 and survived it all the way to the end to take the win number 2. Mike Farrow scored his first ever podium in P2. Don't want to say he finished first because we know who did. And Sasha Dickhouse earned the well-earned P3, which led us to last week, which was Hungarian Ring, which was the complete opposite of what Snetterton was, which was absolutely trenched in rain. The whole thing looked like a wet setup tutorial for me, to be honest. And Mark DC again handled it like a pro, taking his 3rd win. Dylan Bonsall with P2 and driver of the night. Mike Cook with 27th to P3, which was incredible.
Yeah, it was an absolutely mad drive. I'm excited to see what Mike Cook has cooking tonight. So, Justin, 5 rounds in, who is your MVP so far? Who's impressed you as we come into round 6 then?
Mark DC. Without a question. Without a question.
Next question then.
Mark, no. Mark DC, he looked a little shaky to begin it, but we could see that the consistency is the reason why that he has been pretty much where he has ended pretty every race so far this season. Juicy Jake also I want to put up there as well, starting a little late into the season, but has been extremely well placed across the different races as well and driving extremely well.
Yeah. So here we are then. Red Bull Ring tonight, Barcelona next week, and then the big finish at Imola. Only 3 races left, and the tension's climbing faster than a GT3 car up to turn 3 tonight. Let's take a look at the circuit that we're racing on tonight, the Red Bull Ring. And located in Spielberg in Austria, this track is just over 4.3 kilometers long with 10 corners. It's a fast, short, and packed with elevation change track, as well as a few dive bomb overtaking zones. So it's no stranger to controversy. Formula 1, MotoGP, World Endurance Championship, DTM. This place has hosted all of them over the years, and drama does tend to follow. Going into turn 1, the Niki Lauda curve, a tight right-hander at the end of the pit straight, uphill with a blind apex. If you're on cold tyres with full fuel, 30 cars funneling into one corner is, need I say more really. Back in Moto 2 in 2020, this was the site of a massive crash. Enea Bastianini high-sided, and his bike was left on the track. As if Siren came from full speed and hit square on, 200 km an hour impact. Bikes were flying everywhere. Red flags were waving everywhere, and it was an awful moment, an awful reminder that turn 1 is not to be taken lightly. Moving on to turn 2, it's just a kink technically on paper, as you can see on the track map there, but it sets your line and sets the order as well for going into what is turn 3 or Remus. The slowest corner on the track, and maybe still the most important. It's where races are won or lost and argued about, like in 2023 between Verstappen and Norris, where they collided fighting for the lead, which led to some fireworks off the track, if we all remember. It's prime dive bomb zone, but one step too far and you're spinning, or worse yet, spinning somebody else. The rundown from that straight then from turn 3 is into turn 4, which is Schlossgold. It's a downhill entry with an off-camber exit. Again in MotoGP this time in 2020, it was the scene of one of the most terrifying crashes in recent memory. Zarco and Morbidelli collided on the approach, and their bikes went airborne, flying across the track just ahead of Valentino Rossi and Maverick Vinales. Pure mayhem, and again, everybody survived, thankfully. Going into turn 5, or Roush, which is a sweeping, a sweeping right-hander. The grip falls off quickly, and it's more of a setup into turn 6. But if you've been leaning on those fronts through the middle sector, this is where they're going to start to really want to give up on you. Turn 6 is Worth. It's a quick left hand. It's deceptively tricky. You run wide, and you're guaranteed to be dragging dirt into turn 7. Lots of gravel on the exit. It's nightmare, and it's also very easy to get a track warning there. Turn 7 is Rindt, named after Austria's own Johann Rindt. He's F1's only posthumous world champion, so that's dedicated to him. The corner does demand its full commitment, though. Carlos Sainz had a wild spin here back in 2021 and just narrowly avoided the wall. And then turn 8, the Red Bull Mobile. Final right-hand, yes, we go all the way into turn 10, which is the Red Bull Mobile. Get it right and you're flying down onto the main straight. Get it wrong and you're eating gravel. So it's a tricky one. It's very inviting for the overtake, but that door very quickly shuts. So, yeah, Justin, what do you think about the track?
Yeah, I'm happy that you said all the names and I didn't, because I would have butchered every single one of them like I normally do. But yeah, turn 3, that was pretty much gonna make or break a lot of racing tonight. If you brake too late and you go wide, coming back onto the track is a nightmare if there's traffic around you. If you go into narrow, you can hit the curb and then bounce left and just absolutely end yourself there. And with, going side by side with somebody going into that turn, it's just, it's gonna make or break the race tonight.
It certainly is. So, Justin, let's go ahead and you can take us through the driver standings going into race number 6.
Yeah, so we're just gonna get right into it. The gold drivers right now, it's all about Mark DC. Consistency is key, like I said earlier with him. He leads the way with 423 points, 3 wins this season, including the last 2 in a row. So calm under pressure, consistent in any condition. He's starting to look like a champion. Just got to stick it all in there together and keep doing what he's doing. Then we got Dylan Bonsall in second with 338 points. Probably the fastest guy on the grid without a win right now. He's been up front all season, just needs to have that breakthrough race. That's definitely a possibility this week with him being the fastest out of everybody so far putting laps down in practice. Sasha Dickhouse is in third with 296, steady pace, multiple podiums. Then we got Andrew Hopkins at 287 and Juicy Jake in fifth with 277. Jake's been a late season standout. He's got a long way to go, but definitely can make his way up there with another great finish.
Yeah, he definitely can. And I think, although Mark DC is out there looking quite decisively in the lead, the way that these things work, if Mark DC has disaster, touch wood he doesn't, but if he does have disaster, it opens the championship right back up again. So if you're Dylan Bonsall, if you're Sasha Dickhouse, or indeed Andrew Hopkins just hanging in there, in fact Juicy Jake's still hanging in there as well. One great result here, and one result going the way you want it, and the championship opens straight back up again for the gold. So yeah, we'll see how that flips.
Yep, so let's jump right into the silver class now. No less intense. The top right now is Sean Paul with 210. He's been absolutely class all season long. And elbows up have been making it stick around and everything as well. That's Sean Paul up there kind of making a fight that, should have been a gold driver this season possibly. So hats off to him, doing a great job. Then we got Brad Bertram with 147 and Travis Fletcher with 141. 2 drivers absolutely locked into the duel for P2. They could make their way up there. They just got to, again, lock in. Jeremy Rand with 4th with 124, and Peter Pan right behind him with 122. So that's basically a coin flip heading into tonight.
Yeah, I think the fight for the podium places in the silver championship is just as close as it is in the gold. Again, you got Sean Paul out there with a commanding lead, but again, so many of these drivers have had incidents in this season, and it just takes one for that to all change. Returning listeners or watchers of the broadcast will remember last season in Division 6, it all came down to the very last race and everything changed again. So just because Mark DC or Sean Paul are out there in the lead does not mean that that's how it's going to come and end at the end of the season. So yeah, Silver is definitely one to watch tonight. But I think potentially in there, I like Travis Fletcher. I think he's got a good potential. He is his teammate, but we'll see what happens if team orders suddenly come into play tonight. So, Justin, if you're Mark DC tonight, though, do you play it safe and protect your lead, or do you just go balls to the wall and try and get that win?
Yeah, nope. You go for the win. You come out here to show up every single week. It doesn't matter.
No
You race
debate.
like you got nothing. You race with every. You got. you race with you got nothing to lose at this point. Like
Drive
you know,
it like
if
you
you play
stole it.
like if you are playing a conservative, I understand. But I mean, if you're in the position that Mark DC is, why not go for 3? Why not
Yep.
go for 4?
Yep.
Why not go
I
for
hear you.
5?
I hear you.
Like finish off the
Close it
season
out.
and be like, look, let me show you why I am up here. But everybody has their own, games in their mind. It's hard to play that down where you really want to win, so you're like, oh, I just can, I can lose a position here and there, but it adds up. So no, yeah, you definitely want to go for that 3rd in a row.
Well, go for it indeed, sir. And now let's talk teams, because while individual glory is great, like Mark DC's, someone also has to bring home the bacon for the team championship. And it's a lot closer. So obviously more points on offer as well when you were talking about the team championship. So Champion Motorsport, Slippery Shift are in close pursuit with Boatley Busters Racing for that top spot. Wreckham Racing Team, though, Glenn Jacobs and Mike Cook, who together haven't had the individual results necessarily for the season, but they've done enough, and they're sort of doing a Matt Moon-esque performance from season 13 where they're just staying in the hunt. And especially if you're someone like Mike Cook, who had an awesome result this time out last week at Hungary, if he can replicate that, or ideally start a bit higher up than he did before, then those points are going to start adding up real quick. And Glenn Jacobs as well. I mean, he's had a phenomenal time last race as well, and he was doing all right in Spa. I think self deletions were the problem for Glenn Jacobs, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so I mean, that for me is the team championships. I don't know what you have to add to that, Justin.
Yeah, pretty much the top 2 teams are in a league of their own right now. That's pretty much what it looks like. That 3rd spot's pretty much wide open across the board. I mean, you can definitely make some stuff going. Cook and Jacobs could sneak in there if there's another big result. And Baseline Keenwood, they could fly under the radar all season long and maybe slide in there as well to get it. But don't count out Juicy Peters either. The Juicy Peters Racing Team, I mean, they came in a little late with Juicy Jake, and I mean, coming in late and being in 5th, I mean, that's a crazy climb. So we can make it happen.
Certainly is. Right. So let's go ahead then and join our guys on track. Let's cut through. There we go. And we're on board with Travis Fletcher just in time to watch him begin the silver classification, their first hot lap. So that is going through then the Niki Lauda curve. Difficult to try and make sure. It's going to be a place for a lot of the track limit cuts today. I managed to end on only 2 last night, actually. So it's fine. Of course, if you're watching this for the first time, you get an allowance of 3 before you get pinged on the 4th. As Travis Fletcher finds out the Remus is not as easy as it looks and loses the back end.
Yeah, speaking of track cuts, not so much for us last night in D3, but there is a big chance of track cuts that we saw in the practice races that we're doing on Monday. So definitely a big thing to look out for tonight, like you said, in a couple of the corners going by. Just a wee bit can cause that.
I'll be honest, Justin. I'm worried. I'm worried tonight. But tradition has shown us that when D6 are confronted with a very typical contacty circuit, shall we say, they often are the surprise and the pick of the litter and deliver some of the cleanest tracks. So I don't want to put them. I don't want to put it down yet. I still think there is an opportunity there. But yeah, Justin, I'm worried. I'll say that.
Look, every time that we've said that, they've proved us wrong.
That is true. They certainly have.
Like last week, it could have been, we're not gonna sit here and say that it was off, but with the wet and everything, it and being, whether you're new to sim racing or you just haven't driven, the game before or anything like that, you're just new in general, it's very difficult. Now we're back to the standard, nice and dry, sun is out. I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful out there compared to what we've had the last couple of weeks.
It certainly does. As Max Yang goes, he won through the first sort of first hot lap for everybody. That's with the time of 1:31.8. I think we're going to be looking low ones for the time. It's also you know what? We've got the banker lap in there. It's a good banker lap. It's ahead of everybody else's banker lap. So. Performance of the season.
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree with you there. The fastest time this week was Dylan bouncing, like I mentioned earlier, doing a 1:29.1. But everybody has been pretty much between 1:29.7s, 1:29.5s. So there's not a whole lot difference between both drivers.
No, and to be honest, even yesterday there wasn't a huge difference. The simplicity that plays into it. I know that yesterday, first and so yeah, it's always definitely. As we go on board with Cookie, taking his stab at the very first corner, that was the Nicky Lauda curve and the run up through the kink, then up to Remus, managing to put in a respectable time of 1:30. Maybe not respectable, but he puts in a time at least, and we'll see if he can improve on that.
Cookie is trying to show Queasy Academy.
No, he got I tell you, he should be in the Queasy Academy. They make Yang, he went for a Stormer again. He's put 4 up in his crack. That's enough to put him into the so let's see.
I always find this turn here so tricky. Want to just get nice and tight and don't go out too wide. It looks like he did a great job there. Ooh, well that's not. You don't want to ride over that much curb though. As we take a look down here, Jason, you coming into turn 1. Want to get a little bit more over as much as possible so you're not going into narrow, but that's okay, it'll be fine. Straighten out to go down this extremely long, straight into turn 2. Oh, just a little bit too late on the brakes there, that's okay though. But as of right now, everybody who is out there right on the silver grid, other than Thomas Kiss, who is slightly up on his lap time, about 2/10, are all down as we are getting ready to go across. Everyone who's out there should be pretty much getting ready for one more lap. Same as last week, the silver drivers will stop at the 10-minute and 30 mark. And they will finish whatever laps they are currently on, and then the gold drivers will come out as well. as Mason Hall now has gone up over Travis Fletcher with a 131 flat. As Jason Yu is going around again one more time, he should be able to get maybe actually 2 more laps in here. Travis Fletcher, though, up about 3/10 on his best lap, which again will move him back into provisional pole, which will also give him about a lap time of 130.9, which will be a pretty solid lap to end on here. And if you got enough fuel to go around one more time, you should be able to get another good solid lap in. Going into the final 2 turns here, get to stay a little bit more wider and then make this cut there beautifully there. That should be good enough to know. It looked like he actually lost some time coming into those last 2 turns, so he'll stay in second, and if he's got enough fuel, he'll go around one more time. But you want to stay out as left as possible to cut into this corner to get a nice exit out into turn 2, which is exactly what it's looking like.
Mason Hall showing up then for the silver division so far. Mason, again, he's had pace all season, but again, somebody who's struggled when it's come to the race, often found himself on the wrong end. Often found himself wrapped up in some collisions. So, let's fingers crossed if he can put in a good lap time here. I mean, a 131 isn't bad. I thought.
I don't. Yeah. I think he's. I think it was invalid, and if it wasn't before, he definitely is now.
Yeah, 131. I thought I was expecting faster times. We'll see what the gold division drivers come up with. Yeah, that's definitely. He's there for the pit practice now.
Which is gonna be tricky. I don't think we talked about that too much. Or the pit entrance into this for Red Bull is gonna be it's going into the final 2 turns, and it begins where the drivers this week have to make sure that they stay within the white lining coming into the turn 9. So if they are making their move to go into the pits this week, the drivers behind them have to make sure that they give them enough room to get in, give enough room to go around them, or they have to slow their speed down to make sure that they don't collide with them. A little tricky. Let's hope that nobody has any incidents with that tonight.
Yeah, so the gold going out now, so they have a full 10 minutes to go out. They're just eating into that first minute now. The only thing I noticed, they're all pretty closely tied up there on their out, so that's going to create a bit of traffic, not some optimal tyre temperatures for the next lap. Yeah, not ideal. They'll have to start spacing themselves out pretty soon. And they're probably going to have to sacrifice that first formation lap in order to actually get going again. Yeah, not ideal, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, gotta make sure that we're not starting a massive train here. But Justin Montine out here to start leading them all off. And again, a lot of the drivers tonight have not been using that much curve. Yeah, like if you're narrowing themselves out here going to this first turn and losing a lot of speed, they gotta be more over to that left-hand side there in that turn.
I finally figured out why my microphone was so quiet, so I do apologise, guys. I'm back now, hopefully louder. Justin, can you hear me?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, you were cutting a little in and out for a second there, but I think everything is solid.
There we go. Classic computer issues. All right, so we're back with it. Sorry, Justin. We had the same same wavelength there. Mic is sorted. Filter is back on, so you guys can't hear me and my terrible popping of my my voice. So let's take a look then. Where are we at as the first few drivers come through? We're on board with Justin Muntean with his teammate just behind him there for the championship championship motorsports Macca. And let's see what they do going over the line for the first time then.
They are really close to each other coming down this straight though.
They are, but it's worked. Dylan Bonsall, Justin Muntean go 1 and 2 through. Garrett Lorp goes into third. Travis Fletcher being bumped down. And he's gone. Let's go back and have a look at that, shall we?
We'll
go on board with a triple stint helicam and see exactly what happened.
Can't take it narrow. Can't take it narrow or you're going to meet the triangle.
Oh, yeah, triangle of death. Luckily, Dylan Bonsall managing to escape on the outside there, so that's all good. We also had, I think it was Andrew Hopkins had a little bit of a moment with Porsche right up behind him.
Yeah, that's giving yourself space is so important during qualifying because then that just happens. And,
yeah. I mean, just cars everywhere. Yeah. No, I'm feeling good about turn 1 on the race. Yeah. Let's go on board then with Mark DC. Mark DC then just doing his first hot lap, putting himself in 4th place. So just building up slowly. I have to say, that's a hell of a lap time by Dylan Bonsall. How he's managed, I mean, it just shows the progression of drivers over the course of the season because Dylan Bonsall obviously got himself comfortable with what he's doing, been doing a bit of practice. I mean, that lap time there would have beaten me in Division 3 last night. So,
I was going to say, hey Dylan, you want to give some pointers to us?
Yeah, start taking
I only
some
did a
tips.
129.4 last night.
Yep.
Oh, we should hang out with D6 next season.
I'm happy to, mate. More than happy to. So, Dylan Bonsall then extending over that lap, extending his lead to 0.7 with Glenn Jacobs closely in behind. And Juicy Jake makes the move up to 3rd place, just under a second behind then the fire lap time of Dylan Bonsall. Who can answer his call? Who can answer his questions? You know, that's invalid probably, but who can do it then? Let's be Avenue as the famous meme from Norwich City Football Club. Let's be Avenue. Where are you? Roll up, Justin. Where are we going? Who we got with this? As Mark DC finds himself on the yellow flag, does he? I think he's okay.
Might have just gone a little wide. I mean, he was invalid from all the stuff that was going on before. Glenn Jacobs already up 0.3 on his lap. I want to say that, you know, he was caught up in that mess that was everybody sliding out in turn 1. So we might see some significant improvement on his lap time possibly as he is up 0.3 on it. It's not going to be enough for now, but we will see.
Going into 8th place with a lap time of a 1:30.7 in the Lexus.
Oh, they just eat that curb so much.
You can in the Lexus though.
Yeah, Glenn Jacobs only about 0.2 up on his time. It's gonna need a big couple of laps here to make that time.
But Bonsall's also improving, so you know, it's. I think it's Bonsall's for the taking. Which, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the golden question. Dylan Bonsall, for the 3rd time of asking if he does indeed, as Justin Muntean puts in a great lap time there to put himself 2nd place ahead of GC Jake, can Dylan Bonsall handle the pressure throughout the entire race if he stays there of being in 1st place? He's got a reputation now for stacking it a little bit when he's in the lead. So let's see if he can finally bring home the P1 that everybody in Team Bonsall deserves. As Cast 713 goes a little bit wide. That's Glenn Jacobs, I think.
Yeah, I think he was a little too close to
he went Dick's 2nd, and I think he's probably given it. Went 2nd and said, that's all right by me. And we're getting into a couple of cars. All the cars out there should get another 1, maybe 2 laps in now. So let's have a look. Justin Muntean is currently up by 0.1, which might be enough to get him to squeeze into P2, but it still looks as though P1 is done and dusted for the time being.
Yeah,
as we go on
Bonso's
board.
also getting up a little bit more. I mean, he's up 2/10 on his time that he already had. I mean, will we see a 128 tonight?
128 tonight, D2 next week.
There goes Sasha Dickhouse a little wide on there too. I believe that's invalid. I don't know if that was still good there.
No, yes, it's invalid, yeah. So let's go on board then with Cameron Hastings for a little moment to see him coming over the hill between turn 3 and turn 4, going into the infamous Schlossgold corner. If you haven't seen the clip, by the way, of the MotoGP crash, it's definitely worth checking out. Some phenomenal aerobatics on display.
Ellen Bonsall just lost all his time going into the looks like the last 2 turns. So unless he's got enough fuel to make it up the one more lap, I think that'll be pretty much where he will finish qualifying at a 1:29.1. But we see Lorp here making a significant improvement to his time, moving up to 8th. Cameron Hastings here about a 10th up on his time too, as we're finishing the qualifying here. This will be everyone's pretty much last lap except for the final 2 coming over. So Mark DC will most likely be the first person to cross the line at the end of this session, which again, he's got about a half a second up on what he is now. Same thing with Garrett Lorp up in 8th. So 7th and 8th have a chance of moving up to about 4th and 5th over Juicy Jake. Yep, Mark DC coming across the line to finish the session here, putting himself in 4th.
Sean Keenan coming across in 9th. We're on board then with Cleveland Leatherwood, who goes into the pits. And this is Mike Cook coming across. What can he do? He stays in P10. Cameron Hastings, next one over the line, with the car closely following him as well. So let's see what happens here between the two. Currently 6th place, which is a great position for Cameron Hastings to be in. I think maybe the car behind him ran a little bit wide, but we'll have a look. Cameron Hastings going P3 then. One awesome lap by Cameron Hastings. As we go on board with Sasha Dickhouse, currently P11, up 0.2 at the moment. Moves him up to P8. Justin Muntean, currently P2, stays P2. Brian Acone, currently 12th. He's up by 0.4 of a second. This 0.3 is dropping. Get over that line, Brian. And that's enough to put him into P8.
Yeah. Cardboard Smith was saying nope.
We got one last person out on the track. That is, of course, Dick Zipperburn Sr. Coming over the lap time. I don't think it's an improvement. And it's not, so he stays P19.
Very good, everyone.
Very good. That is qualifying all wrapped up. So what we're going to do then, guys, we're going to go and quickly check in with our sponsors. And then when we get back on the other side, we'll walk through the grid. We'll discuss what we're going to see coming up in this race. But stick with us and we'll see you just in a moment. A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specializing in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more. All right, and we are back. The drivers are all set up, ready to go, waiting to start the formation lap. We have one car in the pit lane. That's car number 909, which is Hunter. No, it's not. Sorry, it's Matthew Hopkins. We've also got Gordon Beverly Jr. in there as well. So let's go and take a look then through the driver lineup. We have Dylan Bonsall in first place, Justin Muntean, his teammate, in second place. In third place, Cameron Hastings. In fourth place, Glenn Jacobs. In fifth place, Mark DC. In sixth, Juicy Jake. In seventh, we've got Harvick Garzozi. In eighth, Brian Acombe. In ninth, Sasha Dickhouse. In 10th, Garrett Lorp. In 11th, Sean Keenan. In 12th, Mike Cook. In 13th, Cardboard Smith. In 14th, Andrew Hopkins. In 15th, Mason Hall. In 16th, Travis Fletcher. In 17th, Cleveland Leatherwood. In 18th, Tim Parkinson. In 19th, Dick Zipperburn Sr. In 20th, Max Yang. In 21st, Daniel Beckstead. In 22nd, Thomas Kiss. In 23rd, Jeremy Rann. In 24th, Brandon York. In 25th, Jean Mayer. In 26th, Akuna Matata. In 27th, Pookie Dana. In 28th, Jason Yu. In 29th, Mike Farrow. In 30th, Peter Evan Pan. In 31st, Rohan Devanini. In 32nd, Hunter Lowe. And in the pit lane, Matthew Hopkins. And also joining him in the pit, Gordon Beverly Jr. So that rounds out then our drivers as they're coming through then the final Sector 3 just in time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be around 44 laps of absolute who knows whatery, but what I do know is it is all on the line here in the Austrian mountains. It looks good for the team championship if you're championship motorsports for Dylan Bonsall and Justin Muntean. Mark DC then though in 5th place. As we know, he knows how to be consistent. He knows how to keep it on the track for a full race. He's done it multiple times for his wins this season. We've got a few new names or unexpected names up in the top there with Glenn Jacobs and Harvick Garzozi and Brian Acombe and all the rest of them. So who knows what's to come? All I know, Justin, is we are about to go green as the drivers start to approach that green, the start-finish straight.
Yeah, and it looks like the lineup here looks a little weird. I don't know if the game
And
is
we're
just kind
off and away for SRA. So, a great start then by Dylan Bonsall coming up into turn 1, but Cameron Hastings putting Justin Muntean under a lot of pressure. Can they keep it safe through there? Let's go on board the helicam now. It looks like they can. Have we had any casualties through the first corner? No, we haven't, as Gordon Beverly Jr. and Matthew Hopkins get released. We have had a little bit of contact towards the back, though. Nothing doing. John Mayer and Pookie Dana. And what looks like Thomas Kiss up there as well. As Jordan Dana takes the inside, it looks as though to me John Mayer thought better of it. Pookie brakes late, almost takes out the car ahead of him as there is carnage.
Oh, there is.
Oh my goodness! What is just? I
don't even know what to say. What just happened?
I have no idea. We'll go back and rewatch
have
it.
to come back. Definitely gotta go back.
Let's cut towards the front though. Still, we've got Dylan Bonsall in P1. We've still got Justin Muntean in P2. So nothing has changed at the front. Cameron Hastings making their way up to 3rd place. Mark DC gaining a position, then up into 4th place off of Glenn Jacobs, followed by Juicy Jake, closely followed by Harvick Gozozi, Sasha Dickhouse, Garrett Lorp, and Brian Acombe rounding out the top 10. So let's get these guys. Let's get these guys through, and we will go back and
we need
review
to go back.
What happened to Sean Keenan there?
The man did a kickflip with his car. That's what I saw.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shame.
I pressed the wrong one. It's fine. We'll cut to the back here. We'll watch the final cars coming through then. And let's go on board then and see what happened with Sean Keenan. So he gets hit pretty heavily, and the game well, I mean, yeah, and you know what's worse as well? That's Sean Paul. So that's the Silver Championship wide open, as we predicted might be on the cards. Cameron Hastings then taking a look down the inside, going into Schlossgold. Justin Muntean in a great defensive position and holding them both off. Dylan Bonsall still then holding up the lead. Is this a bit of team tactics? Is Justin Muntean going to try and just ever so slightly hold off the competition behind him and let Dylan Bonsall get a bit of a lead? It works if that's what they're trying to do. It will certainly work, but Brian Acombe putting the pressure then onto Cameron Hastings as they come through turns 7 and 8. As Glenn Jacobs goes a bit wide. Just a reminder, if this is your first time... Oh, actually, let's have a look here. No, Mark DC thinks better of it. But just as a reminder, if it's your first time, this is a 60-minute race where no refueling is allowed, so drivers are full weight. 1 tyre change is mandatory, so that's why you see the 1 in the orange there. And the pit window is 58 minutes, so there's plenty of time to change their decision. We've got then Glenn Jacobs trying to make a move just behind them there on Juicy Jake, but now, oh, it looks like Cameron Hastings got a great exit there through turn 1. Not so much so for Mark DC, who would have had him, I think, had he had the exit he was hoping for, but he seems to have dropped back. Cameron Hastings then putting the pressure on, and it is the McLaren show in positions 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. As it looks like Cameron Hastings inching ever closer then to Justin Muntean. Is it going to force him to go on the defensive going into Schlossgold again? No, he doesn't. Cameron Hastings tries to take it a bit extra wide as well. Now going to have the inside line. Justin Muntean then quite wide on the exit. They're going to be side by side then as they come into turn 5. That's going to be Cameron Hastings with the advantage, but he backs out. I think he tries to look potentially down the inside, then nothing doing. Switches back to the outside. All the meanwhile, Mark DC just at the outside there, just saying, go on, one of you do something. Go on, please.
And Mark DC doing what Mark DC does, just kind of hanging out back there, hoping for somebody to make that mistake, and he's just going to capitalize it.
He certainly
don't want to
is.
give him that. You don't want to give him that advantage.
So we're just going to go back here. This is contact then between Cleveland Leatherwood, or contact for Cleveland Leatherwood. Let's see what has happened. So that's Rohan Divanini up behind him, I believe. Oh,
he just
yeah,
carries it going too much.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. We come back on board though with an electric fight for position for the second position then. So Justin Muntean takes a defensive position going through turn 2, coming up into turn 3 then. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Who's going to be braver here? And it's going to... Oh, as Cameron Hastings loses his rear a little bit. Yeah. Oh, just Juicy Jake at the back there, ultimately losing the position to Glenn Jacobs, doing the similar thing and losing his gripping. So Justin Muntean again, not really going on the defensive, sort of a half-hearted defense. That's going to leave the door open for Cameron Hastings as it does. You see that gain that Cameron Hastings makes going through Schlossgold there. As it looks again like... what is this? Is just all over the place. Let's quickly go on board and take a look. And this is Mike Ferro we're on board with here. And that looks like it's Dick Zipperpan Sr. just ahead of him for the time being. Going into, again, a very tricky turn 9. Turn 8 and turn 9. So he gets a lot of pace coming out of turn 8. Dive bombs into turn 9. And, yeah, I don't know what the expectation is there. But he's probably going to have to give that back.
Yeah, if I was in that position, I would hoping that I would be getting that back as well, going off and using that to advantage. But
oh, it was Travis Fletcher that had the accident. It wasn't Sean Paul, so I got that wrong. In fact, is Sean Paul here tonight? I'm just checking. No, I don't see him. There's no Sean Paul on track. Brave decision.
I mean, if you're in the Silver Championship, this is definitely
it's
a
all to
night
play
that this is a night that you want to do as good as you possibly can to gain up some points.
Oh, looks like Pookie Dana, Jason Yu all caught up here. Dana has to be careful. What is he doing?
Jesus, just wait.
Okay, so let's go back and take a look and see what happened between these cars then. Where do to be honest, the system is struggling to log it all. There's incidents up and down the field here. Here we go. So this is the incident that causes the Pookie and Jason Yu incident. So they're coming down the start-finish straight and they run up into turn 1. Pookie Dana quite far behind. Does he miss his braking point? Yes, he does. Yeah, and absolutely kills Jason Yu.
That is lack of caution. What are you doing, Pookie?
Oh, no! That is contact between Matthew Hopkins and Gordon Beverly Jr.? Yeah, Gordon Beverly Jr. Now, let's go ahead. We've had a few replays. There's been a lot of incidents so far, and we haven't been able to bring all of them to you. But we're looking now on board with Justin Muntean, who's still holding off Cameron Hastings, who's still holding up Mark DC. But is Mark DC being a bit impatient? Looks to go down the inside, forces Cameron Hastings into a defensive/overtaking position. Who gets the better exit here? The big winner. Oh, as there is a...
Oh, there's a huge car.
There's a Garrett Lope facing the wrong way again, so... Let's go have a quick look here. What's happened? So this is Garrett Lope, I believe, on Juicy Jake. Going up into turn 3. And that is Porsche taking a rather interesting line into that one. Moving swiftly on, we've still got a close battle here and a little train forming now between positions 3 and about position 6. Interestingly, Dylan Bonsall isn't the fastest man on the track. That title goes to Juicy Jake in 6th place. Juicy indeed making up so far no positions. He's just maintained his position. So it's quite an impressive thing to do. Be that fast and not gain anything as well.
Not significant, though. I mean, Juicy Jake's his best lap is a 130.1 and Dylan Bonsall's at a 130.2, so just about a 10th difference.
Just about a 10th difference. Let's go.
Cameron Hastings!
No! Cameron Hastings. What has happened there? We're not going to see it. We're going to see it on the replays, unfortunately. What a time to switch.
Oh, I think he... Oh, no, I was going to say, maybe not.
No, not in this corner. We've already seen this. Why are we watching this again? Broadcasters, what's going on? We're going to have to go back and have a look, though. Car 139. So this then is what we just missed. So this is Cameron Hastings going into turn 1, untouched by anybody. He just loses that rear end, and so does Justin Muntean at the same time. And that is almost a synchronous. Oh, Justin Muntean, what are you doing? No. Oh my God.
Hold your brakes, please.
Yeah,
if you're
I'm not
off,
sure.
just hold your brakes, wait for the traffic to go by. So again, I would like to point out this is the 3rd week in a row that Mark DC has just been chilling. It is now in 2nd.
Look, we said it right at the beginning of the season, right? We said it from the outset. We tried to hammer it home in the D6 Discord chat. We tried to tell anybody who would listen. The way to win in D6 is exactly what Mark DC has done all season long, and that is just be consistent. You know, that's all you have to do. As we go and look at an incident in the run up to Remus then. So one car on the outside, one car on the inside. What happens here? So
you gotta let him back onto the track.
Yeah. And he does. To be fair to him, he does. You got no complaints if you're in that situation there.
Now, will Mark DC be able to close a gap here between him and Dylan Bonsall at all?
Well, I don't know. We'll wait and see. We're on board though with Glenn Jacobs, who himself is chasing down Mark DC. Of course, what's interesting is these 3 teams, these 6 drivers, or at least the drivers in the top 10, there's 3 teams, and they are all fighting for position. As car 308 has a moment. That's Brandon York. Let's go back and see what happens with Brandon. So let's go on board the triple stint heli cam to see what happens taking us into turn 1. So no one around him at the oh my goodness. Okay, that's what? Oh.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah. I'm guessing a hardware
got
issue.
Unplugged.
Yeah.
Wheel unplugged. Controller
We're on board
unplugged.
with Sasha Dickhouse trying to fight off Harvick Garzosi. How many times this season have we seen these two fighting out for some sort of a position within the top 10? They're back at it again as Mike Cook takes the position then, and himself, the cameras are struggling to keep up with whoever's closest here. This is again Sasha Dickhouse with Harvick Garzosi up behind him, going up into Remus. It looks like it's going to be not going to compete for it on this corner. We got Kuna Matata trying to make the move on Mason Hall. This is the battle for 3rd place in the silver classification. And Kuna Matata making the move work, but slightly up ahead. Cardboard Smith then going off and allowing Peter Pan the move. Now, what's going to happen here? Is Cardboard Smith going to dive down the inside? We won't know because we switched straight over then. It is all over the place. As Rohan Divanini comes back onto the track, very close to Mike Farrow, but they both survive. What happens now in the rundown? Oh, there's contact. There's contact. And there's...
and he's gone.
Mike. Oh, no.
No, wait.
Oh,
don't
wait. Where are you
back
going?
on too.
Okay.
Oh,
all
my,
right.
please,
Okay.
sir.
He's back on. Yeah.
It's okay. We understand. It's a frustrating moment. You don't want to put yourself in a position now to...
So Rohan Divanini forcing then Cardboard Smith to go a bit wider than he wanted. Who's going to lead going into the corner? It's going to be Cardboard Smith. Car 939 then is off and stopped after an accident. So let's go back and just have a look at what's happened. Car 939 is Dick Zipperburn Sr., who's that red car that has just passed. And he just loses the rear end there on the sort of blue Astro-y turf segment. Hold your brakes. He doesn't hold his brakes. And
holy moly. I hope you didn't have a direct drive either, because that would have hurt.
That would have hurt. And that, of course, is... yeah, that's unfortunate is what that is. So Rohan Divanini dips into the pits then, as one might have suspected he would. Let's try and keep an eye on what's going on at the top then. The distance, the gap between the two. Why have we got a slow moving car? We got a slow moving Hunter Low. letting a couple of cars pass. Now that's still for position, so I'm not entirely sure what that was about, but he's let them pass anyway. Now we're going to get the first lapping of the session. This is going to be, well, it's going to be Dylan Bonsall narrowly looking to make the pass then on John Mayer. Yet to pit John Mayer. Not sure what's happened there. Max Yang going wide, losing the position then to Akuna Matata and Mason Hall. We've got a close battle then coming up into turn 1. Cameron Hastings back on the backside of Mike Cook, with Garrett Lorp not too far behind as well. Both of them, Garrett Lorp and Cameron Hastings, going to be very sensitive going around these few slow corners. Not to repeat what they did earlier on in the race. Brandon York coming onto the YouTube channel saying, "Rip, my PC died and booted back to BIOS." Oh.
Well, that's definitely not what you want to hear. Ugh.
That's not what you want to see.
Looks like we got an incident with car 23 as well, farther back.
Yeah, car 23, yellow flag. That will be then Thomas Kiss, of course. So Thomas Kiss again coming up into turn 1. Turn 1 seemingly claiming souls tonight. And what happens here? So he just loses it. Yeah, it just takes too much speed into that corner. The brakes and the tyres, sorry, the tyres say, I got no more, Chief. And that is that. So just a note then, Mark DC is gaining slightly on Dylan Bonsall. Is nothing to write home about at the moment, but he is gaining ever so slightly on him. The real close race at the moment is Garrett Lorp to Cameron Hastings as they go into T1. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Garrett Lorp side by side. What are they going to do into a corner that just does not translate? Lorp decides, thinks better of it. Goes wide as a result. That's probably going to be a track cut. But he gets the run then on Cameron Hastings going up through turn 2. Is he going to look down the inside? Has he learned his lesson from earlier in the race? He certainly has. Decides to just stick behind Cameron Hastings for now.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to take a second, Jay, and point out some of our biggest winners and losers right now. Because taking a look at it in between everything, we have biggest winner right now is two people, is Pharaoh and Peter Pan, up 16 places from starting in 30th and 29th. So with all that chaos, it's just moving there. And then biggest losers, unfortunately, is pretty much, I would say, everyone who was involved with that accident. Cleveland Leatherwood, Max Yang, and Sean Keenan. Both 13th, 11th, and Keenan with the worst at 21. Starting at 11th and all the way down in 32nd.
Oh, you hate to see it. I mean, it's going to be memed. It's going to be clipped. Jean Mayer there just losing the rear end. Really struggling then with the Red Bull ring.
You see Jake, though, up there on the top.
Yeah, for now. Can he keep it clean? I mean, this has been Juicy Jake's battle all season. He's had the pace, but he hasn't had the racecraft to see him through. So, you know, and I mean, to be fair to him, it's not always been his fault. But, you know, can he finally get the position, get the podium that he certainly deserves? Another one to note is Mike Cook slowly making his way through the field up to 8th now. I think he started P12 or P11. Yeah, he started P12. So he's up 4 positions. Justin Muntean down 9, as we know that anyway from what happened. Cameron Hastings right on the backside of Mike Cook then, putting him under pressure.
Cook's trying to make sure he doesn't get cooked.
Let me just kick you out of the Discord real quick.
But I mean, everybody in the top 10 have had some really good battles so far. I mean, Mark DC really the only person who hasn't really had too much battling, just kind of working his way up in between everyone else. But
Yeah,
it
well, he
has
did what he
been
needed to do. You see, he kept his nose clean. Oh, my goodness, as Cameron Hastings closes that gap then very tightly on Mike Cook as they go down the start-finish straight now. The difference is that BMW is not going to get caught by that McLaren in a straight line unless he gets a really good exit, which he doesn't. So let's see what happens going into then turn 2. Garrett Lorp gets a great drive out.
I was gonna say, wait a second here.
The script has changed. He's gone from offense to defense as Cameron Hastings. Garrett Lorp with the
he's got him
preferred
too.
outside line. You got to think he's got him if all is safe, and he does. Yeah, Cameron Hastings provisionally looking like he's backing out.
Oh, please! All right,
They do it excellently. Everybody survives. And you know what? I think, unfortunately, if you're Cameron Hastings, that is just a case of the BMWs being phenomenal in a straight line, and especially if they get a better exit, your hole is punched really there. This part of the track, though, will be where the McLaren comes into its own and gets the advantage. So we've got a couple of tricky left-hand corners here that are going to be difficult for the understeery BMW. Can Hastings, make any progress here? Oh, Garrett Lorp losing it a little bit over
wiggly
the
on
curves.
that, yeah. Little wiggly there coming out of it, but that's okay.
Oh, big drift by Lorp, goes wide. Those warnings are going to be racking up for him.
Yeah, that's a track cut right there, I believe, as well for Lorp.
So we have Pookie Dana at the moment is in the pits. So he's pitting in the 38-minute window. It's going to leave him a lot to do then on those tyres for the second half. We do have an incident for car 704. So that is, I believe, if I remember correctly, 704, Gordon Beverly Jr., who is going to be the white McLaren. I think that is Thomas Kiss potentially coming up around him, or is that 942? So that's Jeremy Ran, and then Mason Hall just giving him a little tap just to say, come on, get around that corner, you can do it.
Cameron Hastings, though, coming in real quick into that turn.
Certainly is. Let's go aboard with Matthew Hastings. Debut season, he's had a lot of pace, but he's just really struggled in the race. And yeah, it's just small issues. The remedy to that is you need to do more. Oh, as Mike Cook gets overtaken then by Garrett Lorp, who is now...
Oh, they're going into the last two turns. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, Cameron Hastings keeps the rear end. He keeps his rear end though. He was losing it.
I was gonna say he might have the better exit here, but nope.
I don't think he's going to catch a Lexus in a straight line. I thought it was a BMW, but of course Mike Cook is in the Lexus this season. Let's go ahead. So the gap is staying the same. Now, I mean, the only difference is the gap between Mark DC and Dylan Bonso is staying the same, but the gap between Mark DC and Glenn Jacobs is not staying the same. So Glenn showing us how to drive then, as Sasha Dickhouse has gone into the pits, but Glenn then showing us how to drive this Wreckham Racing Team Lexus around the circuit, catching up slowly with Mark DC. And we'll be going into uncharted territory from the first race, really, which is watching Mark DC, see how he defends, and see if he can avoid being overtaken.
Yeah, last lap he was about a half a second slower than Glenn Jacobs, so I mean he's making up ground quickly here.
He certainly is, as Harvick Gozozi then getting the pressure applied onto him by Brian Acombe. Let's see. Let's go on board with Brian for a minute, who's again had a very mixed result this season. He's had some fantastic qualifying results, but again has struggled when it's come around to the race itself. But you know, there's always time to change that. As that'll be a track cut then for Harvick Gozozi. They're starting to rack up slowly but surely as Sasha Dickhouse comes out the pits then back into 19th, which isn't a terrible spot if you've just pit. So let's see what he can do. As this is then Peter Finpan and Mike Farrow. Mike Farrow, I think, going into the pits in the end. Yeah, elected to go into the pits. And Cardboard Smith the same. A lot of people pitting early. I don't know if that is the strat around here. I mean, certainly the earlier you pit, the better. There's Matthew Hopkins and just getting out of the way of Dylan Bonsall. Yeah, pitting earlier than better is fine, but I don't know if at 35 minutes you're leaving yourself quite a lot to do.
Yeah, I went really late yesterday. I think I went in at like the 20-minute remaining.
Yeah, I think you were like 25 or something. You went in. Yeah.
No, I went in later than I went in either at 23 or 20. I went late. It was one of the last people to go into the pits, but I was able to gain some time towards the end with those fresher tires, but it wasn't enough. I was too slow.
So just a reminder then, Bonsall has been, so far, so he's now catching up to the tail end here. So these cars are not for position, but they are racing one another. So Dylan Bonsall goes through. That's going to be a problem for him, though, with Mark DC, although you might argue that Mark DC is also going to have to battle with that as well. Let's go on board then and watch Mike Farrow coming out of the pit lane, and you guys at home will get a bit of an idea of how awkward this pit exit is. No, you won't, because it's decided to change to a terrible camera angle. But he comes out, but Cardboard Smith comes right out into the foray of people.
I was going to say, I think Mark DC's got a little bit more of an issue fighting traffic. Glenn Jacobs is right on him. He's
certainly catching up, isn't he? Certainly catching up. Somebody else who's catching up is Brian Acombe. That then through Remus doesn't make the move on Harvick Garzosi, but he's certainly there.
Oh, he's right on his tail.
Oh, Garzosi breaking a bit late, was he, or did Brian break a bit early? I don't know. They both make it through though.
That camera angle is a little weird. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Ooh. Could have come out really wide and eat a lot of that curve. That's alright though. Oh, alright, so make sure, Brian, don't hit this guy going in, yeah?
Brian. Ooh.
Yeah, that's alright. It's okay. Now you gotta have an absolute crazy lap right here. Which Cardboard Smith behind him? No. I'm lying. Is that? Oh. Mike Cook goes off. Ooh, as Cameron Hastings goes and tries not to go right into the back of him. They're going to come out side by side going into turn 3 here, which is going to be the break has been all race long, but no.
That Lexus is just going to be so difficult to overtake in a straight line. Cameron's got to make the move in a corner, or at least get an exit in the corner to make it count. I noticed that Mark... Oh, he's pitted. Okay. I was going to say Mark DC suddenly dropped off the map. I had me a bit worried there, but he's absolutely fine. Now, he's going to have a little bit of traffic behind him as he comes out of here, but I think he's going to be all right. That'll be in the form of car 152, which is Daniel Beckstead. Glenn Jacobs then going slowly, deciding to come into the pit lane, and it looks as though Juicy Jake is making that same... No, he's not. He's going around.
Nope.
Now, we have had a little bit of contact, so this is then not ideal between Cameron Hastings and Mike Cook. Cameron Hastings right up behind Mike Cook, doesn't get the best exit, going then into turn 5. Let's see what happens here. Cameron Hastings on the outside line, Mike Cook holding the inside line. And to be honest, yeah, it's if you're Cameron Hastings, you're going to be saying WTF, but when he sees that on the replay, he'll realise that Mike Cook didn't really have anywhere to go there. So not ideal. But hey-ho, it is what it is. Mike Cook then going into the pit lane, just behind his teammate, actually, Glenn Jacobs as well. As Akuna Matata, it's time for everybody to start pitting.
This seems like everybody on the grid wants to do it right at the halfway point.
Yeah, I'm not angry with that. I think that's fine. I think that's absolutely fine. Let's take a look at some of the predictions then, as the cars are. Oh, it's not my little calculator's not working. But never mind. So let's not look through the positions then. The position gain, Peter Pan. I know he hasn't pit, so it's a bit inaccurate, but he's going to be looking in the high teens in terms of where. High teens of positions gained even once he's pit. So he definitely knows the track. As we watch Juicy Jake finally coming into to pit then.
Oh, it seems like we have an accident with car 248 over. 248. Who is that?
248. That's Max Yang at the back.
Yang.
Car number 32. It's just a yellow flag. And now I'm just looking down the grid. We've still got a little bit of a battle then between Cleveland Leatherwood and Jeremy Rand. This is for position 26. Jeremy Rand eating all of the curbs there through that corner, but Leatherwood not able to try and take that. He's going to try and hang it off the inside. Now, again, if you're really, if you're driving at a high level, you want to be tucked up behind that BMW, taking every bit of slipstream he can provide. Jeremy Rand going wide again, though. He's going to get a good run, but is he going to get a good enough run to hold off the inside of Cleveland Leatherwood? I don't think he is.
I think so. Ooh.
And yeah, Cleveland Leatherwood makes that move stick. So we've got 3 cars in the pits. All the cars now coming through. So Mark DC assumes 5th place as he comes through with obviously quite a few cars to pit ahead of him. So still pretty much guaranteed P2. Glenn Jacobs just behind him then. Now, the interesting thing between Mark DC and Glenn Jacobs is for one of them, it took them 32.5 seconds, the entire pit. For the other one, it took them 35.8 seconds. So that means that Glenn Jacobs is now 6.7 seconds, which just goes to show you how devastating a bad pit stop can be. As Mark DC then is setting the fastest lap of the race.
Fresh tires really help.
Yeah, they certainly do. So we got on board then with Garrett Lorp, who's chasing down Sasha Dickhouse in the Porsche. And let's have a look and see what happens as Justin Muntean is crawling off the side there into turn 3. What has happened here then? So handles turn 1 absolutely fine. He's coming up into turn 2, which isn't really a turn.
No one around him
and
either,
just sort of starts slowing down and just not too sure what happened there for Justin, but he's back up to speed. He's still in 4th place for the time being.
Very weird.
We'll go back on board then with Garrett Lorp chasing down Sasha Dickhouse. Thinks better of the dive into turn 3. I'm going to look to maximize what he can. Doesn't get a very good exit. I'm going to rely on the power of the BMW versus the Porsche. The Porsche good on a fast, on the short straights, which sees Sasha Dickhouse keep the position then to Garrett Lorp going around Slosh Gold.
Yeah, no, this is pretty much the closest battle that we have on the track right now. Everybody else is kind of spread out from their pit stops.
It certainly is. Everyone's just sort of slowly spacing out.
Oh!
That...
Garrett, what?
So that was a yellow... that was a blue flag of Matthew Hopkins. Yeah, not too sure about that one. Let's go back and just take a look. We'll stay on board with the triple stint helicam to get a better idea of what's just happened. So Garrett Lorp then chasing Sasha Dickhouse at the same point that we joined them on originally. Matthew Hopkins then going around. Oh, and to be fair to Matthew Hopkins, you know, he's entitled to be there. So there's the, oh no,
Whoa.
who is that that's just gone the wrong way? Gordon Beverly Jr. Got to be careful, he doesn't get disqualified for running the wrong way. Gets back up and going then. So Rohan Devanini had a terrible start to the race, but he's chasing down 22nd place for Jordan, or Pookie Dana, who looks like his internet's struggling a little bit. That's not the game, guys. That is just poor internet connectivity. And it's going to make it difficult then for Devanini to try and make anything. Just, a little bit of uncertainty on the apex. Can he keep the wheels underneath him? He does. So Cameron Hastings then decides to go into the pits. Now, let's take a look. So it is a 32.3 second stop with a 29.5. So it's actually really close between Dylan Bonsall and Mark DC right now.
I was going to say,
mathematically,
with how much speed that he has had of these last couple laps compared to Bonsall, I believe that it may be a lot closer when they come out.
Yeah, and I think Dylan's got to start thinking about pitting maybe at the end of this lap, because if he doesn't, I think at this point it's close. But what you don't want to do is be on fresh tyres but be miles away from what you need to do. So if you're looking to stay in the lead, he's done what he's needed to do. He's stayed out much longer than the rest of the grid. So he's going to have the freshest tyres out there. But was it a risk that he needed to take, really? I mean, he was 4 seconds ahead. I get if you have a strategy, you stick to your strategy, but I don't know. As he's now looking to pass two cars that are already fighting in the form of Pookie and Rohan Devanini. So let's see how he deals with that as well. Is this the time that he decides to pit? This will be the telling factor. Yes, it is. He dives into the pit then, which is good because it also avoids that traffic that are fighting up ahead of him. So he comes into the pits. No track limits there, which is good for him. And it is now going to be all a question of what can Mark DC pull out of the bag. It looks like he's pretty far back, but this is a very, very fast circuit. And the times are very, very close as well. So we'll see just how close by the time they get through it all.
So yeah, Pharaoh and Peter Pan are also still being up there, starting all the way back from 29th and 30th. And, you know, again, a couple more positions post their pit stops, but
so we're going on with a very slow moving Cleveland Leatherwood. I think this is purely just to let those cars go though. But he's gonna get into an awkward situation as he hits the island, the mountain. So let's check out Mark DC then. Coming down the start-finish straight, Dylan Bonsall just about to turn around the corner. So this is going to be super close between them. Mark DC definitely going to gain time. But Dylan Bonsall still holds on, albeit by a little less of a gap. And Mark DC is about half the difference before the pit. So pit just in time, I think, for Dylan. For Dylan Bonsall, just in time. Now, what's going to be in his mind is, can he keep this clean? Can he keep this on the track without facing the wrong way for the third, maybe fourth time of asking so far this season? Car 924 going a little bit slow there. I think that's also just to get out of the way. Hunter Lowe.
All right, Dylan. This is your chance. 20 minutes.
20 very long minutes then for Dylan Bonsall as he approaches some of the lapped traffic. All the space is being created at the moment. Garrett Lorp then trying to get past Pookie Dana, which is not for position. Manages to in the end. Garrett Lorp actually the fastest man on the circuit at the moment. Ryan Divinini then still trying to find a way past Pookie Dana, but his internet is not looking happy, is it? As I see, Jason Yu has received a stop-go penalty of 30 seconds. So we do have an incident. This is Hunter Lowe then. Kuna Matata coming up behind him. Now is Hunter Lowe just getting out of the way? I think he is. Kuna Matata then taking that position from him. And what happened? Oh.
Oh, and he... I hate to see it.
Which is gutting as well, because if you're a Kuna Matata, you're running in second in the silver championship right now. You know, so not ideal at all. Pookie up there in 4th place in the silver championship. Let me just double check that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we go on board then with Havoc Gozozi, who's closed the gap once again now on regular rival from the season, Juicy Jake. That was Brian Acombe closer behind them, but he found himself on the wrong side of the apex then into turn 3, so lost a little bit of time there.
Trying to take a look and see how long they have been out there for on this stint. So, yeah. Garrett. Ooh, nope. Yeah, so Juicy Jake is out there on the fresher tires compared to Garzozi. Juicy Jake's only been out for about a 10.5, and Garzozi's been out for 13.5. So those, oh, Bud Jacobs telling him to just move, please. But yeah, Juicy Jake has got a little bit more fresher tires than I think Garzozi. Just gotta have a good couple of laps here and keep himself closer to possibly make a move in the closing minute of the race. But Dylan Bonsall has once again shown that he is fast, and trying to hold up with Mark DC, it's just not looking like it's gonna happen tonight. Oh, as somebody just going off.
I think that was a back marker.
Yeah, a lot of mixed in cars tonight. Not a lot of racing for positions. It's been a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, it's sort of turned into a bit of a rally stage, I'll be honest. As we're looking at Andrew Hopkins, not looking the right way. Let's go ahead and see what happened in turn 1. Is it just a classic case of meeting Mount Kilimanjaro on the inside there? Let's have a look. He's got lap traffic that he's going around there. Hits that sausage, and the boy's gone.
Oh.
If it was at Kyle Army, we'd say he got comboed. So we're on board then with Sasha Dickhouse and Garrett Lorp. Garrett Lorp close up behind Sasha Dickhouse as he has been previously for this race. Still not making any progress, but a bit further up is Brian Acombe at the moment. That is a car lapped for position. Car 878. That is Travis Fletcher. Oh my goodness. Is John Mayer going for a dive, and I think Garrett Lorp getting a bit of a shock there, goes wide in receipt of that. Don't blame him. We'll go on board then with Harvick Garzozi, 1.6 seconds behind Juicy Jake.
The cameraman tonight is going crazy.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? Let's try and make some changes to that. Justin Munty then chasing down, and Gordon Beverly Jr. What is going on as Mike Cook ends up going through Yeah, your guess is as good as mine with the camera work. That is just a back marker though. Jason, you getting out of the way. Is Rohan, Devanini, and Bookie?
Ookie.
Oh my goodness,
Oh.
would you calm down? Hang on a second.
Max Yang, Jeremy Rand, we're all going crazy. They're all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. I've said it to pick up the close battles, and it's not disappointing. Justin Munty then trying to make this move on Cardboard Smith for the time being. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on between these two. Cardboard Smith holding off. This then obviously for position. Justin Munty we know has the pace around here. But he's struggling in the race. That's going to be a track cut warning. Gets a much better run out, so it's going to close them up again as they come up to the final two corners, turns 9 and 10.
Red Bull Mobile.
Red Bull Mobile, yeah. Why it's called that, I don't know. You can tell us in the chat if you know why it's called that.
You know what you should also tell us, chat?
What's that?
If you like the stream, give it a nice subscribe.
Give it a like and a subscribe. A like just isn't enough, but we do appreciate every like we get, but a subscribe is always better. Right, as we still see Justin Munty looking down the inside ever so cautiously. We've got some close racing there between those two. We've also got close racing. We go on board then. This is oh my goodness, that was Havoc goes easy. Oh, and there's assassination on a lapped car. That's Brian Acombe. Havoc also taking the same route. That's a lapped car behind them, so that's not for position there. The next car for position is going to be Sasha Dickhouse. That, I believe, is Travis Fletcher. Travis Fletcher then says goodbye. No. I think he does.
Yeah, he does.
What a disaster then. That unfortunately sits squarely on the shoulders of Brian Acombe, who's not he's not shy of a few penalty points so far this season, so that'll be a bit concerning for him. And he goes a bit wide then as well, letting Havoc go through. Now let's see, where's Sasha Dickhouse in all of this? He's still a few seconds back, so nothing doing in terms of that overall fight. We go on board though with Mike Farrow, who's having a great little scrap then with Mike Cook coming up to the same corner of turn 3. Can they both keep it simple through here? They sort of can, but again, another track cut for Mike Farrow.
I mean,
it looks like Justin Munty's made the move on Cardboard Smith though, which is good. We've missed that unfortunately, but there certainly was a move made.
What if I'm already subscribed?
You can, resubscribe. I don't know. Just enjoy. Just like it and enjoy. Like it and enjoy, sir. So, car 248 moving a little gingerly. That's Max Yang. Now, this is such a shame because Max Yang started out the qualification for silver in a really strong way, but the front of that Mercedes is telling us a different story, unfortunately. Mike Farrow then potentially looking down the inside of Mike Cook again as they pass Rohan Devanini down the start-finish straight. The Porsche again though is going to struggle. This is definitely a track where if you're in one of those higher top speed cars, it's a much better situation to be in than being in anything else because you're going to keep you're not going to be overtaken in a straight line anyway. You shouldn't be. So corners though are a different thing. As we see with those two getting very close. Mike Farrow taking the corner a bit better than he did on the lap before. So it helps to build on that progress of eventually hopefully making the move as Akuna Matata. I think just moving out of the way of Dylan Bonsall there. Let's check in with these front ones. Now, Dylan Bonsall has obviously been on fresher tyres, and going into the last 10 minutes of this race, he's been putting down some really, really fast lap times. He was 1.2 seconds faster than Mark DC on the last lap. So, assuming there's no self-delete, this is looking great for Bonsall.
Yeah, he's definitely shown today that this is his track, and nothing is stopping him from losing that. It's just, if anything, you know, just like you said, no self-deletes tonight. Hold it there, play it safe. You know, if you got to give up a little bit of time to not put yourself in a position in some traffic in front of you, then so be it. You clearly can show that you are ahead and you can be faster than everyone on the grid tonight.
He certainly can, but, you know, I'm going to come off of Dylan Bonsall now because, you know, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be blamed again. As we look then at Mike Cook and Ferrero, who are neck and neck through here. You can't see it very well. There we go. So Ferrero then gets the inside line, but he loses it a little bit. Then is that Porsche going to get... No. And that is what we're talking about. Don't even ask
that question. Don't even ask. Yeah. You already know what that answer is.
Yeah. So that is a lapped car behind them. That's not a car for position. The camouflage Ferrari. So it is still between Mike Ferrero and Mike Cook. Up ahead of them, Cameron Hastings, but that's 13 seconds.
Yeah, it's looking like the top 5 are pretty much all have settled in. Car 183.
Yeah, so that's Jean Mayer. Let's have a
look.
Yeah, we
were just taking a look at.
Loses the back end and tries to hold it, and he doesn't. Keeps rolling off the track. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, don't want to roll back onto it. Nice and clean.
So what can Mike Ferrero do, who's been faster through certainly turn 1 and turn 3? Is he going to try and go down the inside? No, he thinks better of it. He's going to try and maximize his exit speed here on Mike Cook. Doesn't manage to do it that time either, so I think there's going to be another lap behind. I don't know why he doesn't use the slipstream though. He seems to keep coming out of Mike Cook's slipstream, which doesn't look ideal, but he's so much faster. And look at the time he made up in that corner alone. Obviously riding with some damage as well that he's picked up somewhere along the way. So Justin, it's coming into the last 7 minutes of this race. I have to say, it's either because I'm absolutely shattered, or it's just flown by, to be fair. It's just seems to have flown by.
Yeah, I would say tonight it seems like it's just kind of flown by. First half of the race, before all the pits, you know, there were a lot of close battles. And there's a lot of movement going on. I mean, so far the last 15 minutes or so, it looks like here everybody's pretty much settled in to the outside of the small couple of battles that are on track. But if you just take a look on the left-hand side and see the gap distance between each one, we're looking at Mark DC 5 seconds, Glenn Jacob 5 seconds. Juicy Jake hasn't come across yet to give us that time, but I would assume it's not super close. We got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Everyone's pretty much, this is the closest battle on track. It's just, you know, I guess everyone's race pace, and after some damage and some incidents possibly with their car, everybody's just kind of settled in and has just been kind of driving their own race. As I say that when the 665 goes off.
Yeah, 665 has found their way into, that's Sean Keenan, found themselves off, followed by 690. So let's take a look and, just for argument's sake, see what's happened here between these drivers. Sean Keenan then in the Porsche.
And let him go by on the straight and
A miraculous. No, he's
up, and there he is in the back. Yeah, he just slides off.
I mean, his card was punched, I think, after turn 3 on lap 1. Yeah, he's just and he's just in it for the vibes at this point in 27th place. This is such a shame for him.
I feel him. I was in yesterday for the vibes too.
Oh, so we go through turn 1. Mike Farrow looks like he's finally got a good drive out. Is it going to be enough to do anything going up into turn 3? No overlap, so Mike Cook is entitled to the apex. He leaves it out anyway, leaving the door wide open for Mike Farrow. Says, didn't deserve it, but I'll take it. Thank you very much. And that's the Lexus is fast, but he's not going to close up that gap anytime soon. So let's go back. 954. Now 954 is Mason Hall. 704 is Gordon Beverly Jr. All having yellow flags. I'm just keeping an eye out, making sure that car number 521 doesn't show up on any yellow flags as he tries to make the move on Matthew Hastings. And then Matthew Hastings is going to have to get out of the way of his brother as well, Andrew Hastings, I think, up behind. Or is this a family battle? No, not quite.
Dylan, you're almost there, buddy. You got
3
this.
3 more minutes. Couple more laps.
3
3 more
more
laps.
minutes.
Come on.
Two more laps and it's all yours.
So Mike Cook then starting 12th, currently in 11th. So it's been a solid race. You can't complain about a solid race like that. Brian Okomo as well. I mean, other than the incident that he's going to get wrapped up in and probably a penalty for, he's had a good race. Certainly better than previous weeks, which is a great improvement to see because he's got a lot of pace. It's just a case of keeping it on the track for him. Garrett Law has been incredibly fast, but he's been stuck behind Sasha Dickhouse for the best part of 30.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
Cameron Hastings then, moving on. Cameron Hastings looking to try and gain a position here, and he does.
Oh, Garrett Lorp, just unfortunate.
I know what you're talking about. We didn't say anything. Glenn Jacobs in 3rd place. This is a great result for Glenn Jacobs, who's traditionally, so far this season, been really fast, really good in terms of positions, but has just struggled then to actually make it count. We'll go on board with the Akuna Matata. Now, this has just happened. This is fresh off the press. Akuna Matata with Daniel Beckstead up behind him. Loses it and collects Daniel Beckstead along the way. So, as drivers being forced to go wide there. That's Gordon Beverly Jr. and I believe Sean Keenan. You know, it really throws me off that we've got a junior and a senior in the same division. Obviously not the same senior and juniors, but I have to remember which one's a junior and which one's a senior.
Brian Acombe. Nope. Jay. Nope.
Nope. Someone who can take the pressure of being on camera though is Mike Cook.
I mean,
you know what was gonna happen there, don't you?
I was gonna say, you really got the curse now, man. It's crazy. I mean, this has just been a battle of pretty much all race between these two.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been one of the highlights of the night of watching these two go back and forth. But as we approach the final minute here, 9:42, I believe, is just kind of going off so that Dylan Bonsall can pass. But yeah, this will be the last lap of the race. Oh yeah,
I don't think that was voluntary.
Maybe not. I mean, I saw Dylan Bonsall coming up behind him, so I just kind of assumed that. Yeah, he just waited.
There we go. So Dylan Bonsall starting the final lap. He has just 4 kilometers left with which to not make... it doesn't even have that.
Oh,
no.
no.
Wait, is that right? That can't be... Hang on. Wait, what? Is the race ending?
No, he's gonna. I thought he was gonna pass it just before. This is the last lap of the race.
But the engineer said there was the last lap as well. I was like, what?
No, they said the pit lane was closed.
Oh, right.
I just, where he was on the track, I thought that there wasn't gonna be enough time for him to get all the way around for it. But this is indeed now the last lap. As 289.
289. Trying to have a look. That is Jason 280. Jason Yu returns to the pits. Now he's going to be careful. If he wants those points, he's going to have to come back out on the track. Whether or not he knows that, I don't know.
Dylan Bonsall.
It
does not matter what happens.
Maximum pressure now. I'm going to watch Dylan Bonsall. We're going to watch him the whole way. Just to really shake those nerves. Just so you can really say he's shaken all the demons of the season so far. So that he can be super happy and celebrate with the dog, the wife, the family, and everybody else. And hopefully Pookie gets out of his way. Get out of the way, Pookie. You're not part of this. There we go. Justin, take it away. I mean, it's been a season. It's so far for him. It's been a race so far for him.
Look, if we had to compare this to anything, this is Lando Norris in Miami last year. It's finally done. You did it. Congratulations, Dylan. Very nice. I drive the car straight into the wall. Celebrate as if I would.
I'm done.
Mark DC, beautifully done coming in second as well.
Glenn Jacobs
as we got
following him.
Ooh. Yeah, Juicy J, you don't wanna... Nothing to happen there. Oh, brother. Yeah, you don't...
Why?
Yeah.
He made it all saying, why? Oh, it's Hava Gazuzi.
Oh, no.
No. Have it go. Have it go. Come on. Sasha Dickhouse takes a position. So does Cameron Hastings. Hava Gazuzi loses out to Garrett Lorp as well.
Oh, no.
And you know what that was as well? We're going to have to go back and watch it because I think... I don't want to think, but I think... there was contact.
Oh, Hakuna Matata over there, just off the track.
So, he's off the track. They're not entitled to be there.
Oh, he taps them and it's just... Nope, nothing. That's all.
Yeah.
Garzozi. Such a save. All the way into the last turn.
So,
well, I guess that's a great way to end the race with some quick flares. Congratulations to everybody tonight participating. We love to see it. A little bit of calmness tonight. I would say that was the big overview of everything. Is just, you know, big calm, and I mean. First 10-15 minutes were a little crazy. We had a kickflip with the car tonight. If you don't know what that is, a skateboard move. We watched the car flip across everything.
Goodness me.
But yeah, I would love to say that Dylan. Well, we'll tell Dylan when he gets in here. But Dylan, yeah, big win.
Let's give him a time to filter all through as we process that. I mean, it was a race. It went quickly. It went really quickly, and. I got to say, though, it's probably one of the more messy ones. I think the stewards definitely are going to have their work cut out for them again tonight. So that will keep them a little bit busy. Let's go ahead, though, and drag in Dylan Bonsall, who is our race winner. Going to do him good for the championship as well. I mean, even though it's not a lot of points, it's some points. So... Yeah, I mean, Dylan, congratulations. You've finally done it. You've broken the curse of this season so far. We even followed you for that final lap as well, just to really make sure that there was no commentator's curse involved whatsoever. And you've done it. You picked up your first win of the season. Talk us through it. It led from start to finish.
Jay, Van, you guys said I should do it, and so I was like, fuck it, we're gonna do it. And yeah, just put in a lot of practice. And yeah, big shout out to my teammate Justin. He set some hot laps and was super positive the whole race. And yeah, man, I mean, more to come, I hope. I'll keep practicing.
Yeah, you got the pace.
curse
You got
is
the pace.
over,
And you proved it.
Oh yeah, you were significantly faster than everybody today. The pace was fantastic.
I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, no, it was fun. As always, shout out to my homies watching. Jay on the island, Esther downstairs. I appreciate you guys.
So look,
was that the wife you just called your homie?
Nah, that's my partner, Esther.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'd be slapped if I did that. But anyway, sorry, Justin, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I got a little sneak peek today. I did some practicing for next week's race, and it's gonna be a tricky one. How do you feeling about variable weather and variable track temps going into next week?
So unfortunately, I will not be around next week, which is a mega bummer. But yeah, I'm hoping my teammate Justin can pull through, which I'm sure he will. And yeah, so I'm doing this race, not this race, but I'm actually cycling across the entire state of Washington next week. So for those watching, I'll probably drop a link so you can track me in the chat if you want. But yeah, I'll be biking across Washington from the water all the way to Idaho. So
that's very nice. I'm assuming, assuming I hope you don't have the same, psychological issues in that one, and
I hope
something
not.
happens in the final few corners of that race as well. Otherwise, we'll be super disappointed for you. But look, Dylan, it's been great, and I'm so happy that you finally got that P1. But we'll let you get back because there was a lot of drama in that race. So I'm sure you want to sink your teeth into. Go and celebrate with your homies. And good luck next week with your race, and we will see you then for the final round. See what you can pull out. You never know. You never know what happens to Mark. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you can cut the internet to his house or something. I don't know, and keep it interesting for the last race. But yeah, until then, good luck, and yeah, see you then.
Thanks, man. Yeah, good luck to Mark for next week and everybody for next week. Mark was stressing me out. I kept looking. I'm like, oh, that gap's closing, man. So good luck. And yeah, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
See you later, man. Take care. All right. So that is our race winner, Dylan Bonsall. Let's go ahead and pull in Mark DC then. As always, it's getting routine now. I should just have a hotkey save to bring him into the chat. Let's go ahead and do that. Mark DC, sir, it's getting boring, so we'll keep it quick. Good race. Thanks very much. Good job. I'll let you get back to the chat then. Did I drag him into the right chat? There he is.
Mark,
yes.
yeah.
He is there.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi.
You're here again.
Yeah. 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 What a race.
What a race. You did the sensible thing. You waited for P2 and P3 to wipe each other out, and then you collected up the pieces, and you just did what you needed to do, eh?
Yeah, I got lucky at that start too, having that outside line. I think I gained 2 spots on turn 1. So yeah, I got lucky. Man, got everybody's name. Skips my name right now, but I got to give it to Bonsall. Man, he had such good pace, and he deserved this win for sure. I know it was a long time coming for him.
It certainly is. I think it's a shame because I think if a few things had gone the other way for him, you guys would be in a really tight battle right now. As it stands, you're clear ahead. So talk to us about your strategy for the next 2 weeks. Are you still going to be trying to stay at the front, or are you purely on damage control at this point?
Yeah, practice. That's the only strategy. Just practice, and just wherever I end up, I end up. Had a couple moments. Oh, I had a car just totally miss their brake marker.
Yeah,
I think in the last few laps, and I saw him go past me on my rearview mirror at 100 miles an hour, and
yeah,
scared the poop out of me. So, you never know. I guess just got to practice and stay consistent and try to be at the top, because you never know what's going to happen. So, it's worked out so far. My teammate, I'm super happy for him. He got a good finish. So, yeah, all good things right now.
Well, that's awesome. So go ahead and get your shout outs done. I'm sure they're bored of hearing it as well, but no, you deserve it. Go ahead and give your shout outs, and we'll let you get back to what is a fun debrief.
Yeah, shout out to just D6 for just showing up and having good fun race. And yeah, it's you guys have said it, and I always thought it. D6 is just a great division. We just get all sorts of racing here. So shout out to D6.
Well, that's awesome. Cool. All right, Mark. Well, good on you, and thank you for all that you do as well in the stewarding. I think you're gonna, or in the marshalling, you're gonna have your work cut out for you after this race. But we'll let you get back to it and enjoy that debrief.
All right, thank you.
All right, and then we get a name that we haven't had up here. I don't think we've had him up here this season so far, and that is in the form of Mr. Glenn Jacobs. So let's go ahead now. I know they like to hang out in their own little race chat, so I've just got to find them in the Discord. There he is. All right, so let's move him in. Mr. Jacobs, it was your teammate last week. It's yourself this week. What a race. And you managed to avoid any self-deletions, so you got that off of your back as well from the season that you've had so far. But yeah, what a race. Well done, mate. And a nice solid P3. Talk us through it.
Yes, thank you. Last week was very frustrating to go from the lead and solidly in the lead to wrecking myself out 3 times. But yeah, wish I'd gotten a little bit better start. I went from 4th to 6th in the first corner. But after that, I just tried to focus on hitting my marks and not so much looking at the times or the standings or anything like that. Just corner to corner to corner all the way through the race.
Well, it certainly worked out for you, Justin. What have you got to ask Mr. Jacobs here?
Glenn, I wanted to ask you, man, about how you felt pretty much going through everything tonight. I mean, I know there were some moments where you were having a nice little battle with Mark DC in the earlier stages, and then it kind of just flattened out. But how does it, feel right now? You think you can carry this momentum into next week?
Well, Barcelona is one of my favorite tracks, so I'm really glad to be going there. As far as Mark, I couldn't do anything with him. I tried to stay close and put the pressure on him, wait for him to make a mistake, and he just didn't. And then he got the undercut by pitting 1 lap earlier. And when I saw him go in, I was like, dang, should I follow him? Like, no, do 1 more fast lap and then come in. And after the pits, I looked at the gap, and it's 6 seconds. I was like, well, that was wrong.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's how it rolls sometimes. But Barcelona being one of your favorite tracks, I can give you a nice little preview saying that it's going to be a little crazy next week. Going in and out of the server, it could be pretty much anything. The temps are changing slightly. I mean, there's some rain, there's some cloud, the track's fast, it's greasy. It's going to be all over the place. But we expect to see you here next week in the booth as well for Barcelona if you're saying it's one of your favorites.
Well, I hope so. But we have seen what happens to me on wet tracks, so hopefully I can get past that too.
Well, look, congratulations again on getting P3 tonight. Fabulous racing. Jay, anything else?
No, I think that's it. Any shout-outs have you got? I know Mike was full of love for you last week, so I'm sure it's reciprocal. But anybody else as well at home?
Oh, definitely my partner, Mike Cook. He and I practice together, work on setups together. It's a team effort. And Eric, Simon, Sean, and Drew, and the rest of the guys over at Reckham Race Team, as well as the guys at Noobs R Us, who I've raced with, and they've helped me develop into the racer I am now.
That's it. And the world is your oyster. Hopefully, we'll see you in D5 next season. Then after, you certainly got the pace for it. I think, you and Mike certainly got the pace. It's just navigating through some of the more self pressures, and we all do it. I mean, I've done it so often where you
just
end
building
up
up
in a
the
good position.
racecraft.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, look, see you next week, and hopefully we'll see you as well the week after that. You got 2 more races after this. It's not all said and done. You can get some fantastic positions. So keep practicing with your team and with everyone involved, and hopefully, so we will see you here next week.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. Hey, y'all do a great job with the broadcast. I really enjoy watching them back.
Appreciate it.
Oh,
Lovely
thank you very
job.
much.
Thank you. All right, well, I'll put you back into the race chat. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, so that was our top 3. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring in our winner for the silver division. That was Peter Pan. Now, Peter actually started with a qualifying ban and managed to climb all the way up. I can't recall exactly the position, but it was into the high teens. And we already said at the halfway point what progress Peter Pan had actually made throughout that race. So let's talk to Peter Pan, and hopefully he's got his mic with him. Hopefully he's got it turned on. Peter, what a fantastic race. Are you there?
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was fun.
Yeah, fun is the word. I mean, a couple of squeaky moments in there, but you made it through. What was the strategy then, knowing that you had that qualifying ban? Was it just a full focus this week on race pace?
Yeah, just stay steady, man. Just kept my pace up, or tried to, just hitting the same line over and over, and then just making it through lap traffic and a couple of the guys in front of me.
Well, you certainly did that. So, and what do you think's been the change then this week because I'd say from memory you've had a lot of pace this season on a lot of the tracks, but you've ended up getting involved in, whether it's you or somebody else, one way or another, getting involved in a few incidents throughout the season so far. So what changed?
Yeah, maybe starting at.
What changed for you?
Yeah, maybe starting at the back.
Yeah, maybe
starting at the back.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I don't know. I mean, yeah, a little more cautious, but yeah, a couple of those just getting caught up in some incidents. I didn't know where to go, so I was glad to stay clean this race.
Well, that's awesome. How are you thinking going forward then to Barcelona with the variable weather?
Yeah, put in some practice time and do the same thing. Just keep it clean and consistent.
We love to hear it. Well, one thing that we like to do whenever anybody does manage to get up into the commentators booth is give you the chance to shout out anybody that might be watching, your teammate, your dog, your cat, whatever you want to call out, or whoever you want to call out.
Yeah, call it Juicy Jake. Good race tonight. Yeah, he's been doing real good this season, killing it. So look forward to the next one.
Well, that is awesome. Well, look, congratulations. Hopefully we'll see you here. I think you've got that pace where if you can keep it consistent, keep it clean, I have absolutely no doubt that we'll be talking to you this time next week as well, my friend.
All right, guys, take it easy. Thanks.
Thanks, mate. Take care. Right, so there we go, Justin. That is D6 Race 6 all wrapped up, and we've already said we've got Barcelona up ahead, which is a variable weather, and then we have the infamous, the classic, the well-known, the path well-trodden, or the racing line well-trodden of Imola to finish it all off. So it looks like we're going to have a bit of a blowout then for position 1 in the championship, for the championship itself, for the coveted Shui prize. But the rest of the field, especially with Dylan Bonsall not going to be able to make it next week, I think the rest of the field, so the battle for P2, the battle for P3 in gold, and then certainly after that result and the absence of Sean Paul, the silver division, the silver classification is just going to be wide open going into these last 2 races. So
yeah,
are you
it's
excited?
going to be. Yeah, it's going to be a big. I mean, I think the finish is going to be extravagant. I believe that next week, after getting a little taste already, doing some practice, is going to be a crazy one. And then, I don't think at least since I've been a part of SRA, that we've had the qualifying classification track be in the schedule. So everybody has done a lot of work at the beginning of, well, right before the beginning of the season for Imola. So it's a track that everybody who is in the series has gotten a lot of driving on too. So the last two should be some firework racing.
Yeah, it certainly should. I mean, it feels so long ago now. I mean, we're what, 7 weeks ago we were doing Imola. Not a fan of it myself, but you know, it's a track. But that is the beauty of this. It's been a tricky season. It's been a hard season. It has been a tight season for all of these guys. So without any further ado, guys, join us back this time again next week for Barcelona, and we will see what D6 has left to bring us. Who's going to take home that P2 title, or going into Imola? Who's going to be in the lead in the Silver Division going into Imola? We will leave that all down. You won't want to miss it. It's variable weather, so we have no idea what to expect. And it will certainly bring a lot of interesting battles up and down the grid and an overall challenge for our D6 drivers. So tune in next time, and in the meantime, make sure to check out YouTube, check out Twitch, make sure you drop us a like on this video, and check out all the other divisions as well within the Sim Racing Alliance. And if you want to get involved, the link there is at the bottom to our website. Yeah, if you feel that as we're coming to the end of this season, if you want to get involved, and you think you can do better than Dylan Bonsall or Mark DC, then we'll see you on the track. So from me, Jay Queasy, you still fail to jump on this every time, Justin. You know, come on.
Oh yeah, you know, I do fail. Yeah, my name is Justin Meatball Rosenthal.
Every time. What a